guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing this brown smoky eye using the Jaclyn Hill palette. I wanted to do this look because, well, for starters, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I sat down, but I knew that I wanted to use that palette. I wanted to do something that was really good for brown eyes because I have brown eyes. So if you have brown eyes, this look will look great on you. I did include my face makeup in this tutorial, but it's nothing like too special. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just please keep watching. I did my brows off camera, and I'm just gonna go ahead and carve them out and prime my eyelids, and I will be right back. This is the first shade that I'm going to go in with, and I'm just gonna be taking it on a fluffy brush. And I'm gonna be really trying to pack the color in at first, and then I'm gonna blend it out after I really get the color down. I'm gonna be focusing this like in the crease, and I'm starting a little more on the outer corner. And I'm just kind of like pushing, patting my brush, not really doing any like circular motions or anything. Now I'm just going to do little circular motions. I'm going to go in with a clean M441 and just go over that edge just to make sure it's blended. I'm going to mix these two shades together, and I'm going to take that on the MAC 217. We're just going to keep that same technique, except this time I'm going to start in the center of my eyelid, not on the outer corner. Going back in with the first brush that we used and a little bit of the first shade, I'm just gonna go over this line and do that same pressing motion. And I'm going to take that clean brush and just go over the edge. The next shade I'm going to be going in with is this brown, matte brown shade, the bottom of the palette, on just a small flat brush. I'm not going to be taking this directly into the crease, just a little bit lower, and I'm doing that same packing motion. And I'm going to be bringing this all the way down on the lid. Taking this small blending brush, I'm going to be taking one of the second shades that we went in with and just blending out the brown shade. Next, I'm going in with this shade, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the brown in the crease as well. I'm going in with this color because I want to bring a little bit of redness into this look. And then going back in with the brush that we applied the brown eyeshadow with. And then going back in with the MAC 217. And then the first brush. I'm gonna go back in with the brown shade that we used, just to intensify it a little bit more on the lid so we don't lose it after all the blending. I'm going to be taking the Morphe 3050 palette, and I'm just going to be mixing these two shades right here to highlight my brow bone. I don't normally like to use two different palettes in one tutorial, but since the Jaclyn Hill palette doesn't have a matte cream shade, And then I'm going to take another clean brush. I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. This is in the shade Blacquer, and I'm going to use this to line my lash line and to tightline. With a tiny Morphe E36, I'm going to be taking the black in this Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just going to be smudging out the black eyeliner. Moving back to the face, I'm going to be priming with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is just, it's like my favorite primer. I think I'm going to use it in every video, so just be ready for that. To really smooth out my skin, I'm going in with the Tarte Clean Slate Primer. And I'm just going to use this more in the areas where my pores are pretty visible. This is such a good primer. I used this on somebody the other day, and I showed it to her because she was complaining about the pores that she had right here, and I put it on and I gave her a mirror to let her look, and she was like, oh my god, it looks like I have a filter on. It really does look like you have a filter when you put this on. It just smooths everything right out and feels like any fine line or any pore or whatever you have right there, it just fills it in. It's really important that you work it into your fingers before you put it on your face, because you want to warm the product up, and then you just kind of want to do like a pressing motion to really like push the product in, but to really blend it out and smooth it out so it's not just concentrated in one area. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm going to be applying it. I'm going to take just a flat foundation brush and I'm going to apply it this way. I find that this is the way that I get the most coverage out of this foundation, because I don't think this is a very full coverage foundation. I know a lot of people say it is. I think it may have been back in the day, but I think now there are foundations that have way more coverage than this. I don't really recommend this if you have oily skin. I've found a way to make this work. My skin is not super oily anymore. I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blend the rest of this foundation out. I don't think this foundation is that great, but if you have more dry skin and you're not looking for a foundation with a ton of coverage, you may enjoy this. I don't think it has a lot of coverage. I do hear some people say they feel like it does, but I don't feel like it's a ton. I definitely think they're fuller coverage. I definitely think there are foundations that have more coverage than this, but it definitely is very beautiful. I do think the finish of it is very beautiful, but it's not my favorite. For concealer, this is my favorite. Tarte Shape Tape, Ride or Die. It's just so good. I always come back to it. This is the shade Light Neutral. This concealer is so full coverage, and I feel like it just wears beautifully. It's super long wearing, and it's not like really crease. It doesn't crease up on me a ton. I still haven't tried the Too Faced multi-sculpting concealer or whatever. I really want to try that because I know a lot of people say they really compare Shape Tape to that, so I can't wait to try that. I will definitely be having to check that out sometime soon. Because I look like a ghost, I'm going to be taking a little bit of this Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade 60. It's like the darkest shade they have, and I'm going to just use this to cream contour. I'm going to look crazy for just a bit, but I promise we will make it work. I'm really gonna make sure I take this back into my hairline, and then I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and just further blend that out. This concealer blends out so beautifully, so I'm never like super worried when I use it that it's not gonna like blend out very well, and I'm gonna be left with a mess on my forehead. I don't feel like this concealer dries down too quickly, so I'm not like super worried and like, oh my god, I have to work fast. I do recommend to work a little quicker, but you can, you know, like take your time. There's some concealers that dry down like so fast and it's like, oh crap, I can't blend it out. I don't think this is one of those. To set down all the places that I concealed, I'm going to be taking this KatVonD contour kit. I'm taking the middle shade. It's just the more yellow toned one, and I'm going to be using this to set everywhere. First, I'm just going to make sure that I blend out any of the places that may have creased before I set it, and then I'm just going to look up and just set. Now to set down everywhere that I cream contoured, I'm going to be taking this Luxie brush. This is the Precision Foundation brush. And I'm going to be taking the middle shade in this contour kit. This is in the shade Shadow Play. For bronzer, I'm taking this Hourglass Bronzer. It's in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. I'm really going to be taking like just a very little bit of this. This is a very pigmented bronzer, so I just want to make sure I don't go overboard with it. So that's why I'm just taking like just a little bit, and I'm even going to tap off the excess and just lightly go over the places that I want to bronze. For blush, I'm taking this Note Cosmetics Desert Rose blush. I got this in my BoxyCharm for July's BoxyCharm, and I fell in love with this. It is such a pretty color. This is like right up my alley. I like these kind of tones when it comes to blushes. So I'm gonna be taking this on my Morphe E4. This is super pigmented, so you want to make sure you tap off the excess. I'm gonna do like a little smile so I know exactly where I want to put my blush. That was my bronzer brush. I just went over my blush just to make sure it wasn't too intense. I'm gonna spray my face with a little bit of setting spray. For highlight, I'm going in with one of my favorites. This is the Anastasia So Hollywood. I feel like this is one of the first highlights that was out there that was like super blinding. Mine is actually kind of broken. And I'm using my Anastasia A23 brush with this highlight. And now I'm going to move back to the eyes. To highlight my brow bone and my inner corner, I'm going to be mixing the first two shimmer shades in the Jaclyn Hill palette with this little just pencil brush. I'm just going to be focusing this right under the arch of my brow. I'm not going to be taking it all the way down to the tail because this is where you want to focus your brow bone highlight to really lift your brow. To To start off the bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking the same Marc Jacobs eyeliner that I used on the top. I'm going to be putting that in my waterline and then slightly on the bottom lash line. So I apologize, my camera shut off on me, so I completely just went ahead and finished the bottom lash line. I just added a couple of the shades that I used in the crease and then some mascara. For lips, I used the MAC lip pencil in Stripdown, and I put a little bit of this ochre. Who the heck is ochre? I used a little bit of this OFRA liquid lipstick in the shade Verona. This came in one of the Boxy Charms, I think June Boxy Charm, and this is such a pretty color. I wanted to keep it pretty brown to go with the brown eye look. But I think I want to add a little bit of a gloss on top, so I'm going to take one of these KKW Kylie Cosmetics collaboration. This is a cream liquid lipstick. I've always loved these, but I've always pretty much just used the first shade, and the other day I used this last color. It's in the shade Kimmy, and I just have not been able to put this down. The formula of these are so good. They feel like when you rub your lips together, it literally feels like you're rubbing like coconut oil or water or something together on your lips. I love this formula. This is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I feel like this is such an easy eye look if you want something super dramatic, but you want to keep it matte. The only thing that I didn't keep matte was the inner corner highlight and the brow bone highlight, but I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already, and turn your post notification bell on so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!